Hello everyone! Today I wanted to show you a little project I made on the scene of Ratatouille when Remy goes into the waltz and then exits and sees Paris. The original is by Magical Giacchino, which is one of my favorite movie composers, and this is one of my favorite scores for an animation movie. And I wanted to show you my creative process in writing for a scene which is fairly complex because this has a lot of things to be aware of on the compositional side. So let's start, and the first thing to do is to find the BPM of the scene. You can do it in Cubase here by tapping and making sure that you tap to the change of the scene. I found that the BPM is 131. And then I mapped all the time signatures to have the cut of the scene fall on the first beat of the measure, here. I will now let you see the full scene with my music, and then I will talk about it. So this is the scene. First thing, I will now go into how I think about music tied to a visual. So the first thing we see, Remy is fighting with himself to choose what to do. We have a little bit of tension done by strings, high strings with tremolo and with a trill here. Then the heart of the composition starts. I decided to go with the clarinet as my main instrument because it gives that Pixar feel. So the clarinet is this. This is the main theme, and is dubbed by a marimba. This is a cliché in cartoon score composition, but it's not a bad thing. Then we have these little drums here to add movement and rhythm. These are basically clacks and a drum, mostly kick and snare, and a little bit of charleston. To conclude the percussion side, we have a glockenspiel that does some notes sometimes to be a little whimsical. Okay, then we have the supporting part, the low winds, bassoon and bass clarinet, in particular bassoon, which does the rhythm and the bass notes. And this is supported by basses and cellos pizzicato. Okay. Like this they don't sound great, but in the context they are okay. Okay, and this is the first part. Then we see here that Remy goes down this part, so I have to accentuate it with some strings which descends here. Okay, then here I have Remy which sniff really close to the camera. This must be noted by us, and I added a little bass clarinet to do a fast phrase. Okay, just to give the sensation of sniffing behind near the camera. Then there is this scene where he sees the artist painting, and I made the scene 5/4, so that the beat of the next measure falls exactly on the change of the scene. In particular, here are just strings doing a phrase of 2 notes. It's just a scale to bring me to this next measure. Then I reprise the same pizzicato on cellos and basses. Okay, I keep the string staccatos to give more movement, a little something more, and then I take the clarinet and make it do almost the same melody, but not exactly the same. You want to vary as much as possible and not repeat the same melody twice in a row. So I just I adjusted the start of the melody. Then when Remy sees the couple, I added a little bass clarinet here. Okay, before the gunshot. In the gunshot I used a technique called Bartok's lap, in which the player of cellos and basses take the string so far from the fretboard and then release it so that the string clashes very hard on the fretboard and make this sound, this clank sound. Then Remy noticed, goes back, and I underscored these steps going back with a flute here. All together is this. Okay, now tension, because we don't know what the woman will do now. Tension, then she drops the gun, and when the gun is dropped, you hear a pluck on the strings. And this love scene. For the tension I always used these tremolo strings in crescendo, these tremolo violins. And tremolo and trills. And then for this love chord, I was in the scale of A minor with a sneaky triton now and then, an E flat. This chord is A major, so before we were in A minor, this is A major. And there is this melody on the piano, which is just a triad of A major with the triton inside, dubbed by the flute here. Okay, to give the sensation of butterfly in the stomach, I dubbed this with an alto flute which does a trill. Okay. And then the orchestration with strings which supports the piano and gives body. You can hear there is a little run at the beginning. Let's run. Okay, so this is for this part. Then Remy starts running again. And I just used the same technique, so pizzicato on cellos and basses, and clarinet with the main melody. This time the melody is a little different because we modulated to E minor after this, and the melody is just like the first one but with a couple of notes out. Okay. Then there is the talking between clarinet, bass clarinet, and bassoon. You can hear it there one after another. Okay. And here we always have those pizzicatos, and the drums are a little louder. Just a little. I had to note the little jumps that Remy does, and I underscore them with a glockenspiel and a flute. So here. you hear. Then Remy goes for this tube and then starts going up. When he starts going up, I have to make the music go up, so I did an ascending scale on the flute and the strings, the high strings, I think violins. Yes. Here this measure is just to arrive at the next one where the dog barks, so I just add a little movement on the strings to fill the space, and then the barking sound is underscored by the marcato on violas, cellos and basses here, which imitates the sound of the dog. Here there is always the flute with the trill, which implies tension. The scene ends with Remy entering the hall. Then Remy starts running again and encounters a rat trap, which I could not let go. So I stopped the music where Remy stops and have some trills on the flute. Right. The melody this time is not more on the clarinets, it's on the flute, and it's this melody that we listened before. Slightly variated. You see. Then, when the Remy goes to the trap, I have this tension on the, with the trills on the flute and a little movement on the low winds, dubbed by the pizzicatos on the basses and cellos. Okay, this is it. Then Remy goes up the tube here, and this is another ascending scale. Now, this is maybe the most important part of the movie, because we have a transition from Remy inside to Remy outside the house. So this is an ascending melody, and the first time I did it with 16th notes here. This is the sketch. It's not good, but it doesn't need to be. But I noticed that the contrast between 16th and triplets there is too stark, because then, after the transition, I go to a waltz in which the time is the triplet time as before the transition. So you see, the time slows down a little too much for my taste, so I made this ascending scale also triplets. You can hear it here. So instead of taka 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 ta, I have taka ta taka ta taka ta ta. After this, I have, to accommodate the transition, I have made some clacks and snare crescendo. Okay, and then the drums play this rhythm, which has the kick drum on the old tempo and the charleston and snare on the new tempo, the triplet. So we have basically 3/2 polyrhythm, which grounds us back on the old rhythm but gives the new feel. Now we have the transition. We have a valse, because this is Paris. Remy doesn't know yet, but we do. So this is Paris. I introduced this accordion to accentuate the valse rhythm. And then this rhythm is also taken by the strings staccato. Okay, this is just a descending scale, which is the same thing that we did right here when Remy goes down this place. Okay, so this also, it does give a little bit of a Parisian sense, I don't know. We have the cellos insisting on the descending bass. you see? And the always green cello spizzicatos and bass spizzicatos, which insist on the descending bass. Then Remy goes on this tube. And here there is the clarinet, which has come awake from his slumber again, doing the descending bass line while adding some notes here and there. And this is like a shuffle rhythm if you want. Now Remy stops and see this young lady getting ready to exit and putting on some makeup. So if Remy stops, we also have to stop. You see, the drums stops for this scene. The bassoon, which gave rhythm with the bass clarinet, stops. The only thing that is left is the accordion, the solo violin, and then this piano for the beat, which gives up the beat. This violin is the real protagonist. Descending scale, very vibrato, very appassionato, and the accordion dubs it, but it's very low. Okay. Altogether is this. Here a crescendo on the charleston for the drum, and then the drum comes back stronger than ever with the charleston to end on a tension that lasts until Remy sees Paris. The sight of Paris is accentuated by this harp glissando here. You can hear it's just tension. The strings do all the heavy lifting here. And we end with Paris right here. So this was all I wanted to show you. I hope you liked this video. I hope that you found it useful. And anyway, thank you for watching and see you the next time. Bye.